Right, okay, let's go live and make sure everything is functioning as it should, which it appears to be. Hi there, James. Yes, I did hear the news this morning. I really don't want to start the stream on such a somber note. But most of you, or if not everyone, should have at least heard the name. Not Cerberus. Not Cerberus has been. He might not be the most well-known person in the community, but he genuinely sort of dedicated an awful lot of his time and effort into the game. He started the World of Warships Legends community on Facebook, which has like 30,000 members. He has been part of the super testing team. He's been, I believe his role wasn't just part of the super testing team. He was part of one of the organisers. He helped sort of manage and run the super testing team, so on and so forth. Like I said, I feel awkward speaking about it because unfortunately I've interacted with Sub quite a few times and always been positive interactions with him. He was a nice guy, but yeah, unfortunately he passed away. I'm not entirely sure exactly how old he is. I believe he's a couple of years younger than me, and genuinely not a very nice thing to wake up to in the morning, knowing that someone, a big part, someone that was a very big part of your community has passed away. There was a similar situation. One of the WOWS Ferret Seas clan members passed away quite recently as well, and it's not nice here. Slight side note: Wargaming will actually be paying for the for Not Serb's funeral, which I genuinely think that's pretty stand up of them, and it also kind of shows you how important he was to the community as well. So yeah, to start on such a down note, we'll try and see if we can sort of pick this up a little bit and try and get back to 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 regular scheduled programming. Should we say? Um, See, I'm sort of struggling for words because, like, yeah, it's genuinely a big loss for the community. Love the guy or love the guy or hate him. He was a big part. So today, let's try and get back on track. Oh my god, I completely forgot that I've already typed it out a million times. But yeah, my thoughts and prayers go out to Nathan's family. Like I said, it's genuinely a horrible loss. Anyone dying young is a horrible loss. But right, today we are going to start an entirely new series. This is not going to involve me playing games. This is purely it's basically a podcast. It's kind of like the Davy Jones's Dockyard, but this is something I want to do on my own. We might get some guests, maybe, if I feel that it's that's warranted. But basically, what I'm looking at doing is talking about sort of issues or apparent issues that are plaguing our game. Thug Life, welcome. How are you doing? Good, sir. So yeah, we're looking at stuff that apparently plagues the game. So I'm guessing if you're here, most of you seen the video I put out yesterday about the bug with the small and aim in, and well, essentially there was a bunch of comments, and I've seen more and more comments about shells falling short. Now this is something that I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's because I analyse things too much. Maybe I look into things in a bit too much detail. That sometimes I can. I don't know whether it's just people being disingenuous or people just don't understand the mechanics of the game. So I have actually spent probably months trying to think about how to describe, how to explain this to people, and I got challenged quite aggressively in the comment section of my video yesterday. Is the short thing RNG based? Well, we'll get into that in a moment. So before we can talk about shells falling short, there are a couple of critical things that we need to understand about the mechanics of the game, and how, although yes, this is definitely an arcade style game, there are some historical features to the game that Wargaming have tried to capture, such as the ships, for example. Not all, but the majority of them actually being historic ships. And historically, anyone who's read anything about any sort of naval battles should be aware that the accuracy of ships, they weren't great. They weren't fantastic. That's for sure. There was definitely you definitely not firing a salvo from an actual battleship and scoring 12 hits from your 12 guns every time. For example, the sinking of the Bismarck. I believe it was recorded that somewhere along the lines of 4,000 shells were actually fired at the Bismarck, and only about 800 of them hit. And to put it into perspective, the Bismarck's rudder was damaged, it was travelling at a quarter speed, and it could only turn in one direction. So, about the easiest target you could possibly have. And whilst basically my plan was to look at a bunch of videos of shells falling short, because I'm a bit of an advocate of, that this, it's not a bug, it's how the game's designed. And I stumbled across this, which is from PC, but honestly, who can better describe dispersion, accuracy, and how things work better than Wargaming? So hopefully, I can't see Wargaming giving me a takedown. And just confirm, this video, which describes firing, how it works, and dispersion, released by Wargaming for World of Warships, which has a much larger player base, only has 82,000 views. So nobody is watching this stuff. Nobody can be asked to understand how the game actually works. So I'll pause it, and we'll talk about things as we go through this a little bit. I might talk over it.
How accurate are my guns? What will my shells hit after being fired? These are questions that concern every World of Warships captain. In this episode, we're going to explain how the mechanics of firing and dispersion work.
I am aware, Spartan, and honestly, I've demonetized my channel. I don't play ads. So, I honestly don't particularly care too much about copyrighted music, as long as I don't get in trouble. But as you can see, they're starting this video out explaining exactly, telling you like what to expect and what we're looking for. As long as I don't get copyright struck, I don't particularly care, and I can't see Wargaming copyright striking. Well,
in the first half of the 20th century, it was difficult to hit the same spot twice from a moving ship, even with a single gun, let alone 12 guns.
So here's the historically accurate part. I'm talking like they're telling you, like, yeah, it's hard. I just thought, yeah, not a problem. Thank you, Spartan. Thank you for popping in as well, my dude.
In order to model this situation in World of Warships and enable our captains to hit some enemies at the same time, we introduced the dispersion ellipse.
So another sort of little point of context here. So warring battleships in World War II, like you were, these battles would go on for hours. It took hours to destroy ships. So what Wargaming have actually done is given us a much better chance of hitting ships than actually has. But this bit I particularly like, because people, you'll have to excuse me, I didn't think of visual aids. People think of the dispersion ellipse as an ellipse when you're like looking at a ship side on, so when the ship's in front of you in the seas. Here, see if we can find, like here, when a ship's there, people think this ellipse goes like that, like around, well, actually around your aiming point. And yes, from this angle it does look like that, but in reality it does look quite different. So they're going to highlight this perfectly here. They use copyrighted music, filthy tactics.
Is at the aiming point. The dispersion ellipse is formed after each.
Right, so something very important here, right, as you can see, the ellipse actually looks like this. Right, okay, so how does that give us context when looking at a ship? So the ellipse is, yes, it is like this. It does look like this, but this is 300 meters in front of the ship, and that's 300 meters behind. So shells can land anywhere within this point.
The dispersion ellipse is formed after each shot, perpendicular to the ideal trajectory of a shell's flight. An ellipse is formed for each turret. Your shells will fly through the formed ellipse.
So they're explaining the mechanic right here in front of us all, and like I said, you can clearly see, you have your ship. This is basically the length of the ship. This is what, 700 meters, possibly, depending on what model they've got there. I believe the largest ship dispersion is actually 700 meters. So 700 meters, like either side, that's like a kilometer each way, almost a kilometer each way. Right.
Ship, you need to take a lead on it. Thus, you aim at a point on the water's surface. At the moment the shell is fired, the ellipse is formed, with its centre located at the intersecting point between your reticle and the water's surface.
However, It's complicated to aim in such a way because moving a reticle even by half a degree vertically over long distances results in the aiming point being shifted by a significant distance. That's why the automatic target lock-on feature was introduced into World of Warships.
Yeah, so people who say, I don't use auto-aim, right, it automatically locks onto a target whether you're looking at a target or not. When you look at a target, this happens on PC, this happens on console, this mechanic is exactly the same. If it sees you aiming at a ship, it will lock, and hopefully they'll explain it to you, but that actually reduces your dispersion by I believe it's 50%.
When a target is locked, a corresponding indicator will be visible above it.
If your reticle is locked onto an enemy, a vertical plane is formed through the centre of the enemy ship in accordance with the vector of the ship's movement. So the dispersion ellipse will be formed then at the intersecting point between your reticle and the plane. Thus, the vertical sensitivity of your reticle is reduced, allowing you to focus on taking the right lead.
However, the feature does have its cons. For example, if you're locked onto an enemy that's closer to you and moving to the right, but you then decide to fire at a more distant enemy moving to the left, then, in the majority of cases, your shells will fall short of your intended target. To shift the lock to the required target, aim the...
So, actually, like I don't know, haven't reviewed the videos of shells falling short just yet. But when you see people complaining about shells falling short, that was an absolute perfect example. If they're locked onto this target, so you're locked on here, so your vertical dispersion is locked onto this target, the intersection, the center line through the center of the ship here, and you're aiming here, you're essentially aiming at completely the wrong ship. So you have to make sure that you are actually locked onto
the reticle at it and press X.
One can also reset the automatic lock by pressing X, but we don't recommend doing so because firing at enemies without being locked onto them makes the dispersion ellipse 2 times larger.
Right, so there we go. So if you are not locked onto a target, your dispersion ellipse is 2 times larger. So like I said, being locked onto a target reduces your dispersion by 50%. So confirmed. Actual facts, ladies and gentlemen. Actual facts. Right, okay.
Roger.
The amount of players that would never watch the How It Works videos.
The dispersion ellipse of each ship in the game has its own dimensions and shape. The artillery tab in the port includes the maximum dispersion parameter. This represents the horizontal length of the dispersion ellipse at the maximum firing range of the...
I believe most ships use the same dispersion as PC, so you can actually check. So, as that highlighted there, the maximum dispersion of that particular ship
the port includes...
is 276 meters. What ship is this? And this is the Yamato, so that's 270 meters that way. Well, vertically, 270 meters up, 270 meters down, which will translate into a massive ellipse. The Real Bully, welcome. How are you doing? Your boy, I see you there. While you're doing these demos, can you do a demo on telling people how to get on with the game and stop pretending this game is competitive? Oh, Spartan that makes a good comment here. We shouldn't have to use probability and go to different game wikis to find stuff out. They should. I'll agree with that, like 100%. I'm not sitting here going like, oh, Wargaming never do anything wrong. Wargaming amazing. Hell, my last video was like, yeah, there's a bug in the game. There's an actual bug. I've confirmed this bug. We can see this bug happening. So, but yes, the volume of your mic is drastically lower than the video volume. Alright, I'll try and remember that and pause myself. Pause the video. I'll turn myself up a touch and pause the video when I'm actually going to say something. But yes, like, is it unfortunate that we'd have to go elsewhere to look at these values? Yes. Should they be in the game? It would be much better if we could see them in the game. 100% agree with that. perfectly good and valid point.
It's the maximum dispersion parameter. This represents the horizontal length of the dispersion ellipse at the maximum firing range of the main battery.
For example, German Bismarck has a maximum dispersion of 272 meters when firing at a distance of 21.2 kilometers.
Yeah, so and this actually like highlights it really well. So that maximum dispersion of 272 meters. So if you're firing at a battleship, even any large cruisers, that pretty much covers the full length of the ship. But it's the vertical side, which is 270 meters in a vertical plane, not the flat plane here. As you can see, is larger. It's twice as big as the ship.
Naturally, the lesser the firing range, the smaller the ellipse. When the German battleship fires from a distance of 4 kilometers away, the dispersion of her shells will be 100 meters.
No shell fired from the guns of your turret can travel outside the dispersion ellipse, while the probability of shells hitting the center of the ellipse is higher than that of them hitting the edge.
Right, see, and this perfectly explains it. So, as it states, your shells can land anywhere within this dispersion ellipse. So as you can see, the shells fall in short, shells fall in long, but the highest probability is if you're aimed right at the center, and I'm assuming this is talking stationary targets. The majority of your shells should hit, but there is definitely the possibility, because of this mechanic, of your shells falling short. It's yeah. So.
Is higher than that of them hitting the edge. The probability range for every in-game ship is set individually and depends on the ship's type, number of main guns per turret, number of turrets, and the gun caliber.
The spot inside the ellipse where a shell hits is calculated using Gaussian distribution, which is applied to the dispersion ellipse in a special manner. These calculations include the sigma.
So we're going to take a little sidebar here because, like, we like to learn, we like to educate people. So German ships are pretty accurate. It's just they have terrible dispersion. American ships have good dispersion and reasonably good accuracy. So an American battleship, you want to focus on purely accuracy. Accuracy-only commanders will give you a much better chance of hitting what you want to hit. Whereas a German commander, ignore accuracy, focus on dispersion. But just a little sidebar because the thought came into my head as this was being displayed. So accuracy is how close, like dispersion is how tight your shells land together, and accuracy is how close to your aiming point that you're actually likely to hit. So if you've got a ship with amazing accuracy but terrible dispersion, and you're aiming at, you know, the center of the ship here, as displayed in like the previous graphics. If you've got amazing accuracy but terrible dispersion, you're gonna miss by miles. But if you've got amazing dispersion and terrible accuracy, you could be aiming here and all of your shells will like land in a little group here because it's within your dispersion ellipse. So just a little side note.
A parameter, which is calculated from the Gaussian distribution parameter of the same name. It relates directly to the accuracy. The greater the sigma value, the more frequently that shells will hit close to the center. However, one should know that the sigma value is just one of the accuracy parameters. Take a look at what happens if we change the dimensions of the dispersion ellipses.
So, a side note, just because it popped up as a question, if you turn your firing ship, does the ellipse stay the same shape or does it turn also? No, the ellipse, so the ellipse is for individual guns. So if you're angled away, so you see this angle here, if I was aiming here, for example, yeah, this gun, or if I was aiming here, this gun would have its own ellipse here. This turret here will have its own ellipse here. So the ellipse for this, because range matters, would be slightly bigger than this rear turret, or these rear turrets here. So the angle of your ship, but in all fairness, you're talking, you know, what's the difference? there, maybe like 20 meters. It's not really going to make a difference, but it doesn't change the shape of your ellipse. Your ellipse is always based on your target, and it runs down the center and to the point you're aiming. So if I aim at the front, my ellipse is going to be like this. Yeah, if I aim at the center of their ship, obviously lead in the target, but if I'm aiming at the center here, it's going to run through the middle, and my ellipse is going to be around here. So I hope that
issue of increasing accuracy by decreasing the dispersion ellipse is certainly a topical one. The Aiming Systems Modification 1 upgrade, which reduces the maximum dispersion by 7%, is available to the majority of in-game ships. At the same time, the Artillery Plotting Room upgrade that decreases dispersion by 11% can be installed in the 6th slot of US battleships.
To make your enemies miss more frequently when firing at your ship, install a camo that increases the maximum dispersion of enemy shells by 4%, and the concealment system upgrade, which adds a further 5%.
We do have anti-dispersion commanders. Sorry. Basically, all I said is, like, obviously this is PC. They have up to 6 mod slots, depending on the tier. We only have 4, but the same principles can be applied, because we do have modifications that can decrease dispersion, as they suggested with the main battery one. I believe only American battleships have that, but yeah, I don't think we do have commanders that increase the dispersion of incoming fire. I believe they're typically cruiser commanders, so like I said, it's a bit hard to. They're going into builds, and builds are specifically quite different on PC compared to us console plebs.
Summing up, the firing mechanics in World of Warships work like this. A dispersion ellipse is formed at the moment a shell is fired. Within the ellipse, some points are randomly determined. The shells will fly through these points and then continue their flight along the calculated ballistic curves. After the shells are fired,
you can, if you actually watch your shells, you can actually see the point in which these calculations that we were talking about made, because you'll notice as your shells fly, you'll see they'll get to a point, and your shells will start diverting and diverging all over the, and sometimes wildly. So you can actually see that in game. So keep an eye out for
their trajectory remains the same until they hit something.
There's another topical issue regarding firing in World of Warships: how to send shells over islands. The target lock, as we've explained already, surely helps. But there is another important factor in this equation: ballistics. We'll discuss this topic in the next How It Works video. Click the bell so as not to miss it.
And in all fairness, that might lead us on to our next topic. quite possibly next Contemplations we'll cover ballistics. Right, okay, so I was told there are multiple videos of shells falling short and proving this bug. So what we're going to do, we might upset some people, but fair use. I'm using this to analyse and criticise potentially these videos. So we're going to have a look and let's see if the shells are actually falling short, or are they acting within the mechanics of the game. Some people may not be pleased about this. Sorry, but I don't really care. I'm here to help my player base out and explain these mechanics so people actually understand what's going on. The big thing that's been missed in this video compared to PC's WOWS Legends auto aim is actually insanely annoying and causes misses. It can. I don't. The way I look at it is it's a target lock. It's not. It is an auto aim feature. It automatically tracks the target. You can make adjustments, and yes, it can be frustrating sometimes, for sure. but it's a mechanic that, honestly, if we didn't have it, trying to aim the ships, trying to aim your guns without it, using a controller is significantly harder than using a keyboard and mouse. With a mouse, it's just a different world altogether. Some people may be mad at what I'm about to do, but it's all under fair use. So if any of them try to copyright claim or copyright strike me, they can officially bite me. I'm saying that in advance. Honestly, started to play WOWS, and now my captains are low A2, for example. It feels more accurate and deadly now than ever than with the 16-4 dispersion inspirations. Weird. That is weird. Maybe we need training rooms. If we ever get training rooms, this will be another ranty topic. Right? Once we get training rooms, we can actually test these things out, which will be really good. It's quite hard to do it in like random battles or in AI battles, because you've got to find that same situation like every time to actually do a fair comparison. It makes it quite hard. Another thing they should implement is the mini-map crosshair. Agreed. Again, mini-map crosshair would be good. On PC, I don't know, did they give us a... can we... Oh, right. So if you look, I apologise. I understand this is difficult to see. I don't really know OBS well enough for me to zoom in. But if we take a look down in the bottom right-hand corner on their mini-map, unfortunately they're using the small mini-map. There is a bigger one that you can put on, which is much more detailed. There's actually a crosshair on the mini-map, and it actually shows you, it highlights exactly where you're aiming. And that kind of gives you an idea of what your, it's not quite an ellipse, it's a circle, but it gives you an idea of what your ellipse actually is. So, right, time to upset some people, shall we? Right, okay, please fix this. Shells falling short by, where are you, Aaron? Aaron, I love you, my dude. Let's have a look.
I see an opportunity, chat, and we're gonna take it. What's up, Bob?
Right, let's... Okay. Right. Where did they actually go? See if we can... Oh god, I have to settings. Is that the... You need 4K, Avon.
What?
We can see where those shells landed. Granted. What? Granted. 100%. I can understand why that's annoying, but did they fall short, or did they land within the vertical ellipse? See what he does. See what he does this time with his next salvo. There we go. Actually,
battleship destroyed.
Absolutely annihilates him with the second salvo. But yeah, this first salvo, as we can see, we'll see the splashes
what?
there. Literally a meter or two in front of where the amateur is, but he was shooting directly at the waterline. And as we've seen on the How It Works video, that is not shells falling short. That is a very unlucky RNG roll. If anyone wants to dispute that, let me know. We can do that. That's 100% fine. You can dispute that, but that was not falling short. Here we go. Unfortunately, I can't make these full screen. So here we go. Shells don't fall short.
Oh, see in port.
Right on peak. See my port. Very confident there. And are they short? Again. So unlucky RNG, yes. One thing I did notice that if we watch this again, so he's aiming.
Oh, see in port.
Zooms out to the overview camera. Does that affect the aim at all? Possibly. But yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, bad luck, bad RNG roll, yes. Is that, like, falling short? Or is it within the vertical dispersion as we've seen in the How It Works video? It's within the ellipse by a significant margin. Right. Where are you? It's Mr. Aaron again. Literally, right, what I've done, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I typed in World of Warships Legends, shells falling short, and I literally just, like, opened, like, in all fairness, granted, first time I put shell falling short. I did update it, but I just opened all the videos so we can look at them all individually. Right, we've seen that one. Here we go. There's a short from Aaron.
Yeah, dodge that.
They all hit the water!
They didn't all hit the water. He did get some hits. We could hear them. We see the numbers popping up. But...
Dude!
Again,
one shell hit at 4 kilometers! Oh, I want to throw up, dude. Wargaming, how can this be playable?
It's just a mechanic. And granted, it can be an annoying mechanic.
Hello, YouTube short.
It's not a bug. Here we go.
Here, let's fucking... Oh, fuck's sake. Let me aim up here. 1 Citadel, 4 hit. Wargaming, play your own fucking game.
Aaron getting particularly angry there. Bless him. Yeah, and like I said, I can understand that, but perfectly within the mechanic. Like, I'm not saying it's not an annoying mechanic, but it's within the mechanic. It's not a bug. It's not an issue. It's working as intended. It's just frustrating when it does. Chile. Let's have a look here. Shells landing short bug.
Someone get this.
So we can see here, right, he was aiming at the guns. See if we can pause it just right.
Someone get this man. Someone.
And they land here. That's... What, it's a Baltimore? 5 meters? It's got to be. That can't be any more than 5 meters. He does actually hit one of the guns as well, which he was aiming for. We can see the display there saying, like, yeah, gun knocked out. I think we can all concur. Sorry. Let's put this full screen. There it is. Oh my god. Shitty video quality. Nothing we can do about it. Chili, get 4K, man. Please. But yeah, I think we could actually, if I... can we actually see the point where the shells hit? So yeah, a bunch of shells do hit here, which are 5 meters off to the left, 5 meters down, all perfectly within the dispersion ellipse. If anything, like, I think they're all incredibly close to the dispersion ellipse. Let's have a look here. Who is next? This is... Oh, right. This is one. Even though I typed in World of Warships Legends, this is a PC one. But shall we watch this anyway? See if it's directly on the waterline. It does score a couple of hits, but yeah, they... Oh, he's done the World of Warships replay thing. I wish we had this feature.
Concentrate fire on the target.
Again, frustrating. Yes, not going to deny that that is frustrating, but is that within the ellipse? Yes, and you probably, what you'll find as well, you'll find this will happen more on, like, on ships with good dispersion, because the better your dispersion, the tighter, the higher your accuracy, sorry, the tighter your shell groupings will be within that dispersion. So if you've got a super accurate ship, and your dispersion, just screws you all of your shells are going to fall short. Whereas like if this was a Bismarck instead of a Buffalo, you know, your shells would have landed here, over here, up there. One of them would hit that Alaska back there, because their dispersion's so bad. But it actually would have given you more of a random chance to have actually have hit. Here we go. Right, okay, we are back to WOWS Legends. Give me 1 second, let me run through these, and I will, because we've only got a few left. This is a 30-second clip. Again, like, yes, they all fall short. You're in the Derpflinger, which is a German battleship, and we can kind of see, like, when we talk about in comparison to that last guy's video, where they all basically landed, like, right on top of each other. Can we go, like, frame forward? You can see, like, 2 shells land in here, and then literally 2, like, splash in right in front of a ship. It's just really shitty. Really shitty luck. But it's, does he give us a follow-up shot? And you see, like, his second shot, so he scores 2 over pens. He scores a citadel. But one thing you might notice, with the second shot, he aimed a bit higher. So of course, if you're aiming at the waterline, and your shells drop like 2 meters below, yeah, you're hitting water, you're hitting nothing but sea. Whereas if you aim slightly higher up and your shells go up to 1 meter or 2 below, you're still actually going to score hits. So, you know, following it up with the citadel or 2 shells falling short by Spaghettio. He's 2 kilometers away, and yeah, they hit the water right there in front of it. But again, like within the ellipse. Stop. Oh wait, which one's still running? Something's running. What's this? Oh, that skipped on to the next video because I didn't stop it. Right, okay. Shells falling short by the beast text.
Fucking line of sight. Oh shit.
I'm worried about that North Carolina.
Yeah. Oh wow. The fucking G-Wagon shot my stern and citadeled me. He's a bot. I gotta reverse out of here now. My CV just had fucking line of sight.
Short, giving citadel.
Oh shit.
Oh wait, he's on about the shells being fired at him.
Yeah. Oh where?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. Spartan, I'm sure. This is supposed to be 1080. Oh, this is available in 4K. In all fairness, I don't know why, but YouTube sort of automatically, it still looks shite. So this complaint is this guy's shells fall short.
I'm worried about that North Carolina.
Like within dispersion, like we got 1 land in there. Yeah. Saying shells fall short to get citadel yourself. I'm sorry, dude. That's just it's just daft. What we'll do, actually, let's click this open link in new tab. Did I open that link in new tab? Spartan, if that's a Rickroll, by the way, yeah, we could be having words. Right, okay, let's check this. Ismore, shells falling short. Just firing at the waterline. It's the same thing, having like good accuracy, low dispersion, aimed for the waterline, like perfectly within the ellipse. Like, I get that that's frustrating. Well, let's check this out. The J in the 2 bits. You'd think his dispersion would save him, right? Right, okay, so like, point of note, we can see, like, this Suzuya is actually already turning out.
Fire alarm!
What? What, you're putting up a clip. Shells falling short. Gotta love that. Your shells went long, my dude. Your shells, look, we can see here the Suzuya. You can already see, if you look at this line here, this is perfectly horizontal, perfectly flat. It's at the, yeah, he's turning out. He's turning out. So this is why I find it so hard to believe people when they say bugs. So his shells, like, you can see, actually, like, there at that point where they land. Yeah, they're on his frickin' line. Yes, these ones here fall slightly short, but he was turning out. He didn't turn out fast enough. Obviously hasn't seen enough hipper builds to get that rudder shift down enough to get himself out of the way. But yeah, how can you take someone seriously when they're saying, oh, Michelle's fall short, when, like, they score 2 fucking citadels? Is there a follow-up? That's wild. I'll go and complain about yeah, can't complain about those falling short because he's already dead. Right. Hang on, let's see if we can. Where was that link from Spartan? Open link in new tab. Ah, right, okay. Aha, right. We've got that on another screen. Right, I will drag that over momentarily. That'll be the last one we run through. Right, okay. So Daniel Bernardo, what the WTF? Shells landing 2 kilometers short. Now, if they're landing 2 kilometers short, like, this sounds like this is a bug. Right, okay. I think we're gonna have to do, yeah, quality is absolute potato. And what the frick is he doing with his editing? Okay. So, come on, dude. What are you doing? Just let us see it. Right, okay. 2 kilometers short? Oh, this thing hurts my head watching it because he keeps on doing these stupid things. Right, okay. So these straight up, this is the first one that I've seen. He's aiming at the island and blames the game. Well, true. Is he actually aiming at the island? Yeah, he is. When he fires, let's have a look. When does he fire? Right, okay. So, yeah, actually, well spotted there, Swan. So you can see where he's aiming here. So this is where the intersecting line is going to be, as we've seen in the How It Works ship. So there's going to be an intersecting line going across here, and your ellipse is going to be like this around here. So yeah, actually, those landing there, absolutely fine. And again, another person scoring Citadel hit, going, Michelle's fall short. Oh my god, your editing fucking hurts my head. Right, which? I can't tell. I've skipped to the end one. Beast Tex, we've seen Beast Tex, we've seen Spaghetti, we've seen the J.
Boy, loves the DC single fires though. Yeah, DC it again. Go figure. Oh, nice. They fell. Love to see where I am. DC single fires, though. Yeah, DC'd again. Go figure.
Complaining about the guy putting off a single fire. I wouldn't complain about that, because that will allow you to get multiple
nice.
fire. Yeah, nothing.
Oh, nice. They fell.
Like, we can see, like, horizontally here, like, on the vertical axis, slightly low, a couple of meters, perfectly fine. His horizontal dispersion, if anything, screwed him then. So, shells don't fall short. No, they don't. Look, they're there. They're easily within. Some splash this side, some splash that side. Unlucky, I am still yet to see a convincing shells fall short argument. Right, here we go. We've got the Beast Techs again with shells fall short. Hang on. That's 12 ricochets. Right, okay. Where's he aiming? Right, okay. Fucking quality. Jesus Christ. So, okay, he's aiming at the superstructure. Fair enough. He hits the casemate instead.
I'm fucking...
And just ricochets everything.
I'm saving this clip, sending it to Wargaming. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. Like, I'm turning out, right? I'm in a Montana. I shoot top of the key's superstructure.
That's not off top of the superstructure. That's the bottom of the superstructure, my dude. In the nicest possible way. That is barely, like, see if we can. Problem is everything's splashing around it all the time. So look there, that's the hull, right? That's the hull. When he fires, if you look, see if I can get it just right. He's actually aiming at the very top of the hull, and then like saying, "Oh, I was aiming at the top of the superstructure." No, we're gonna call shenanigans. Spaghetti-o again. It's a lot of the same people posting these videos. Just saying. Right, let's see where was he firing at? Right, so slow down. So he was aiming high. He was aiming in line with the superstructure. He was aiming, yeah, but now he's moving his aim up. No shells fall short of that first salvo. Right, so that third salvo. This salvo he fired by using the whole zoom out overview camera thing. Still scored hits. So first salvo, perfectly fine. Second salvo, overview camera. Third salvo, overview camera. No shorts. Nothing short. Those, so that one salvo. That one. I'm trying to figure out which salvo it was that fired. That's the annoying thing. But they're all perfectly within the dispersion ellipse. And like bad RNG. That salvo fell short. Like, I don't know. I'm still unconvinced that I've seen anything egregious going on. Oof. Someone's gone for the big guns here. Sid the Battleship Layer presents. Right, okay. Is this a compilation of shells falling short? music is just, it's just annoying me. Is he actually gonna do something? We're like 2 minutes into the video. All right, here we go. Here we go. We might actually see something happening. So aiming at the waterline, 18.3 kilometers. So this is going to be maximum range. So maximum dispersion going on. He's turning out. Some went short, some went long. I'm struggling to see the complaint there. All right, I've got to skip this video forward because. So, alright, 13 kilometers, not exactly maximum range, mid-range, scores 4 hits out of 6 guns, right, okay, so this is, right, so he's turning out this time. Is this going to be one worthy of a complaint? 2 hits, 6 guns. Alright, not ideal. But I didn't see anything particularly egregious going on there. Flat broadside, 12.1 kilometers away. Like, okay, he's probably not having the best luck. I hate the way this guy looks around. Yeah, in all fairness, that curve first is travelling awfully slow, as Spartan points out, and he scores more hits. Right, let's look at that. Is that an egregious complaint? Ricochet and a shatter on a bow tank in Yamato. This video is just infuriating me. The way he like jutters around. Oh my god. Hurts my head. Does anyone understand why I struggle to take these comments seriously when the only nonsense you see out there, like, yeah, I can understand the bad luck, the frustration there. He scores a citadel and 3 shell hits over there, takes a taupe up the arse. Gets himself destroyed by taupes. It's not like he didn't know. That's not even like the first set of torpedoes that was fired at him. So, like honestly, like this particular video, I'm sorry, my dude, you're in like poor positions pretty much the whole time. That maximum range shot, like maybe you got a little bit unlucky on some of the salvos. I feel like he probably could have got a little bit more out of this curve first than he did, but he didn't. Right, okay. There. Like, see, Yamato, it's not the most accurate thing in the way. That comment was back for the cruiser. Oh shit, sorry. Right, okay. Let's. Oh, excuse me. Let's take a look at Dan's clip here. Right, okay. Oh, it's this guy again. Oh, it's the same clip. Right, I'm not watching that again. Right, okay. So that was bollocks. Right, okay. So we have a request from. See, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Straight away, it's auto. It's on 4K. At least we get to look at something pretty this time. Right, okay. So this is a clip Spartan has asked us to look at. Let's scroll back up and just check, Hive, this isn't Shells Falling Short Clip, but please explain how this is possible. We will definitely give it a shot. I don't know what we are about to see, but we're about to see
range. It can lob over top of this island and hit us, but it's too close. It can't hit us. And that's when I noticed that the gross occur first is firing HE. Now we shoot up towards the guns and...
In all fairness, perfect example of dispersion right here, just because that was the main topic. Like a shell splash here, shell splash here, shell splash here. Like, you did get a little bit lucky there.
superstructure because he's bow in. And we smash him. That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay, now obviously we knew the destroyer was here somewhere, so we're using the island as cover to keep us safe from those torpedoes. Now our gearing is launching torpedoes at this Georgia, and that's going to keep the Georgia at bay. But watch what happens next. Remember, I am shooting at the rear turret, the rear front turret. Now obviously Grosser first shoots HE at us again, and we get the superstructure hit again. 5 full pins, 1 full or 1 over pin. These are the shots that we can get out of a Grosser first or an American battleship at these sorts of ranges when they're bow in, because we can't overmatch like a Yami, so we can't shoot through the bow. And of course, if we were in a Yami, we wouldn't be able to overmatch the Kerr first anyway. But watch this next shot. What is this? How do you explain this, Wargaming? Please, I'm upset for the man.
Oof. Oof. Big oofs. Right, okay, so that is not plunging fire, okay, because he's far too close. Let's rewind a wee touch.
If we were in a Yami, we wouldn't be able to overmatch the Kerr first anyway. But watch this next shot. What is this? How do you explain this, Wargaming? Please, I'm upset for...
See, without being able to zoom in, like if that was zoomed in, that would have been perfect. Like you can see, I'm
this.
not too sure.
How do you explain this, Wargaming? Please, I'm upset for the man. Honest.
I'm upset for him too. So, like, yeah, you could see the shells going up and coming down slightly. The only thing that I could possibly explain is, like, did the shell ricochet off the side of a turret, or possibly some of the superstructure, and ricochet as it came in, it's gone like dung, boom, straight down into the citadel, which is.
Honestly, how do you explain getting a citadel there? And just for those of you who are like, oh my god, maybe it was a fluke. Maybe the Force led that shot down the smokestack and into, ow, he loaded AP. That hurt a lot. Not gonna lie. But maybe it was a fluke shot, right? Maybe it was a fluke shot. So just to test this theory, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna shoot the second turret, pull the trigger, and plow! Another citadel! How is that possible? Please.
Another one. Oh shit.
Pull the trigger and plow! Another citadel! How is that possible? Please! Turtleback armor, bow in. He couldn't have played it any better if he tried. And the game rewards me with a citadel! Twice! On a bow in, gross occur first by shooting at the freaking top of the turret? Like, what is that?
Right, okay, so what we've learned is there's a citadel on the rear turret, rear front turret, on a gross occur first. Is this a keep watching? Yeah, I wait for PS5 Pro. Oh, were you one of the videos we looked at? Yeah, so sometimes the how long ago was it? It might have been a while ago. Oh, how long ago was this? There was. By the way, this is a repeatable export in the GK that I can get often.
I felt so bad for that guy, I'm not gonna lie. I literally, I could not have set that up any worse for that guy if I'd have tried. I literally was broadside. He blapped me. Thank God he only loaded AP for 1 salvo. Here you can see I'm trying to sneak the shot with the front turrets around the island, maybe hit the Georgia. Didn't quite get a hit the way I wanted. We do have some heals, so we are going to get some of this health back. So that's the good news.
Isn't there a fallacy that the GK's armor near the front turret can theoretically allow this to happen? I mean, it's insane RNG for Spartan with that angle, but it isn't there, obviously. Oh, right, okay, so yeah, but can I explain it? No. Like, literally, the only thing I can think of is, like, I know GK has very strong turrets, so I suppose one thing, actually, we can look at is, do we get right, well, there we go. Do we get... So there is a ricochet, okay, on that one. Oh, where's the first one?
For an American battleship, we wouldn't be able to overmatch the Kerr first anyway. But watch this next shot. What is this? How do you explain this, Wargaming? Please! I'm upset!
So, we do have a ricochet, a citadel, right? And
maybe it was a fluke shot, right? Maybe it was a fluke shot. So just to test this theory, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna shoot the second turret, pull the trigger, and plow!
Oh wait, no ricochet there on the second one. Yeah, genuinely, the only way I could possibly explain it is either there's something up with the GK's armor model, and I would love to have training rooms right now where we could just take a GK and a Montana in and test this out. But yeah, that would suggest to me that either there is definitely something wrong with the GK's armor model. I think it's an issue with the GK's second turret barbette that allows pens to be citadels. Because, hang on, I don't have the game loaded up at the moment. There is, where's my controller? Where is my controller? There we are. Dig out old controller.
Another citadel! How is that possible?
I love a good spot on video. Bear with me. Actually, I should just be able to go tink. Give me just a second. Oh, come on, Streamlabs. Not Streamlabs, Elgato. There we go, Elgato. The second salvo took out the engine too, so it definitely went into the Citadel. Let's have... Oh yeah, of course it's not going to show up there. Oh, cool, Bureau project. Getting closer to the end. Let's have a look. Ah, thank you, Merc, for the sub. Welcome. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the armour of the GK. So for that frontal shot, okay, so what I'm thinking is, if, because there's obviously this gap here, this is very heavily armored, right? Okay, so I can 100% see how you could ricochet off this, But if you hit this, and it's coming down, and it like bounces, it's going to bounce off and it's going to bounce down. Like literally, it's hitting the turret armor, or the magazine. Sorry, not so much the turret armor, because this is the turret, this is the barbette and the magazine. It's hitting that barbette and magazine armor and going bunk straight down into the citadel. The citadel is directly below it. You know, same in all fairness. Can you that flat of a trajectory, close range our trajectory, our shell is coming in. You know, it's slightly dropping. I think if it hits the front turret, the angle it's gonna bounce off at is not as likely. But if it comes in, I wish this thing would stop moving. If it comes in, and it like you'd literally have to get like the perfect shot, have to scrape just over this turret, dunk. And bang, like, so that is, I think, I'm not saying that's what happened, but I think that's a potential explanation. If you're aiming for this turret and that shell ekes in between, it's basically, it's got a tiny gap. It's like here. If it hits here, it can quite possibly ricochet down into the citadel, which would explain the taking out of the engine as well. Let's see, does the Montana have something similar? As Spartan says, there is a similar thing that happens to the Montana as well. Let's knock all this off, and it's from the rear. Again, if you've got, I think it's a much harder shot. The gap between the turrets, like if you're close range, it's quite hard. If you've got a bit of a distance and the trajectory of the shell is coming down, it can hit this this barbette armor, which is what 400 millimeters or more, which is gonna cause a ricochet and bunk. I'm definitely going to pay more attention to these salvos in the future, because that could definitely be that, you know, that can be something that you can exploit and specifically aim for. Because and like again, we're talking here, if it does ricochet and come straight down, what's the it's only got to go through 19 mil, so it doesn't even need to hold all that much power left in the shell after a ricochet. What was the case with the first? So that's 50 and then 45. So the co-first, it should be harder to do it to. I've got to look at what the deck armor was on the old Montana. Yeah, 38, and then what did we say it was, 16? Like, possible, if you get the ricochet angle right, yes. Probable, probably not so much. So, I would love to get Wargaming's opinion on what happened. Honestly, send the clip to send the clip to Blip. I might actually, I'll do it myself actually. Where's my Discord? My Discord's on a different page, so that's fine. Because Blip is the mechanic god. Where is... Why can't I find Prince Blip? God damn you, you're hiding from me, Blip. How dare you? Ah, there he is. Where did I have that clip up? How is this possible? Trying to find the point in the video. Right, there we go. 720.
This is Georgia.
There we go. I've literally, and if it's repeatable, then it ends. It's just a ricochet off the armor and aiming at the second turret, and you just get in that one shell to hit it just right, and bosh, in we go. Ah, Mr. Hodgkins, how doing? Is it Hotkins? Hotkins, sorry, I might be mispronouncing that. Right, okay, so I've dinged a message to Blip. Blip's not showing us online right now, so it might take us a wee while to get a reply. Go, one game in Rochester. I don't want to play the Rochester. It's an awful ship. I just realised you're probably getting sound from my desktop and from the PlayStation, so it's doubling up on the warship's music. Right, okay, so I think we've, like, does anyone have anything to say in chat about any of those clips we watched about shells falling short after watching the how it works? After watching the how it works and sort of learning a bit more about dispersion. Is it just a bad roll of RNG, or is it a bug? I think it's just a bad roll in RNG. Yeah, we spoke about that briefly at the beginning of the stream, about the unfortunate passing of not Serb. I missed the clips. In all fairness, I'm ending the stream now because I've got stuff and things to do. Unfortunately, yeah, it is Spartan. I couldn't put it much better myself. It's just bad RNG. It is enough to make you throw your controller through an unopened window. It's enough to throw it through an yeah. It's enough to. I can imagine it being enough to launch a controller at the TV as well. Maybe even throw your console out the window on occasions. But yeah, it's all well within the parameters. I've seen nothing egregious other than just bad luck. And it's not something I see. I don't know if it's because of how I aim. I generally aim. I'll show you how we've got the Montana up here, and we've got a mouse that we can put over. Oh no, we can't put the mouse over the screen at the moment. If we go to the display capture, we can. I'll always aim here. Aim halfway up the hull, because if your RNG decides to duke you low with all your shells, well, you're still increasing your chances of hitting. If you aim at the waterline and all your shells, because of unlucky dispersion, goes low, they're all sailing straight into the water. Every single one of them. I am halfway up the sides, and now and never the water. Yeah, see, Mr. Duke, it's it's what you should do. Aiming at the waterline is almost a stupid idea, because with dispersion and accuracy, like, if your shells don't perfectly land where you're aiming, you're not going to get what you're looking for. Whereas if you go up slightly, you're just increasing your chances. But yes, so Contemplations Series 1. Shells falling short. Not a bug. Shitty luck. Feel free to link me any clips of anything else that looks, you know, particularly egregious. But yeah, hey Hive, what's up? Another stream spoiling our asses. Yes, you're being spoilt. How you doing, Mr. Flint? But you have just caught me right at the end. But yeah, so I don't know whether to cut this down and turn this into a video. I'm probably not, because it's too much like hard work. But this, very much like the bug confirmed video, I implore you all, like, share, subscribe, post it on Facebook, teach these plebs about the mechanics of the game so they stop crying nonsense. I noticed mainly with BBs. Well, that's the thing. If you're a battleship player, it's gonna annoy you more than anyone else, because you've got such a long wait time between your salvos. So if you get a bad roll of RNG, it's what, 30 odd seconds, depending on the ship, until you get to have another go. Whereas like in a cruiser, I'm waiting 5-10 seconds. If I get a bad roll of RNG, I get a bad roll of RNG. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, on a battleship, you know, they could be behind an island before you reloaded next. So I get the annoyance, and I get it's definitely something that's going to hurt a battleship player more than someone like me who predominantly plays cruisers. But yeah, aim a bit higher, and stop complaining, because it's not a bug. It's every single one we've seen well within the. I notice as well, tends to be American battleships and American ships in general, which have the higher accuracy. So when you've got high accuracy and good dispersion, and they group together so tight, if RNG unfortunately blesses you low, it's more likely that every single one of them is going to go low. But then it's also more likely that if it blesses you and you hit that sweet spot, you're more likely to get a dev strike as well. Right, anyways, I could waffle on forever, but I shouldn't. So, do hope you enjoyed this slightly different stream, and as always, until next time, take care.